Alright, now we're on to our resume page, and we're going to do this tutorial in sections to break it up a little bit because this will be a little bit longer if we don't. You notice that on our resume page here in my mock-up that I have different sections set up with different colored backgrounds to highlight those different sections. So the first one we're going to focus on is going to be the profile. So I'm going to tab over to my Dreamweaver and open up my resume page. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create some div classes to create some of these containers that we're going to insert into our main content area. And we will need to delete out one of these that we've created previously, but it'll be a simple thing. So I'm going to toggle over to my cascading style sheet here and scroll down to locate my last section that I created in the content area, which was the highlighted column styles, and right before the footer styles. I'm going to create a new section. So I'm going to place my cursor right after that closing curly brace, right before my comment of footer styles, and hit the enter return key a couple of times. And then I'm going to start off with a comment, and we're going to call this resume, styles, and that. Okay, and then to return here. Okay, so a couple things. We are going to use the wrappers that we have created previously in the content area, but we are going to create new containers for our individual sections because we want to be able to style all of our content, all of our text uniquely for the resume. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this resume dash contain dash WHT for white. This is going to be in the white section, and open up a curly brace, and then width 940 pixels, which is the same treatment that we've given everything else. And you notice that, pretty much what we're doing here is we're just repeating exactly what we've had before in other sections, but the reason why we're doing this is so that we can create and style our headings and our heading twos, all of our elements that go inside of this uniquely, so that they aren't inheriting some of the other properties that we've created for our other pages. We want to make our resume clean and professional, and we want to make sure we don't have any conflicting styles from our other pages going on. I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead a little bit here, and it's going to make sense here in just a second as we start to style some of our elements. But the next section that goes in is also going to be called resume, if I can spell it right, and contain, but this one is going to be gray. So you notice that I'm using the GRA abbreviation there, and then open up a curly brace. And this one is going to be the same width, obviously, 940 pixels here. My typing is off today, apologize. And margin 0 and auto like normal, but we're going to add some padding to this one, 30 pixels top and bottom, and 0 for left and right. Okay, so that one's going to be slightly different than the white. And we're going to stop there in terms of the styling. I want to make sure that I start inserting some content first for you to see how this is going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and Control S, Control Save on that Cascade style sheet, and then pop back over to my source code, and then scroll down and locate the section that I need to insert. If you remember right previously when we started creating our containers for our shelf for our whole pages, for all of our pages, we inserted this little div class called content main contain. We just need to get rid of that, so I'm just going to delete that out to eliminate confusion. So we're still sticking with the content main wrap top, but this time we're going to insert the div class called resume contain white. So left caret div class resume contain white, select that, right caret, enter return key, left caret, /. Alright, so that first section that we're going to insert is going to be our profile. And in our profile here, I know that I'm going to end up with a heading and an unordered list. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a left caret H1, right caret, left caret, /. And then in between those two carets, I'm going to type in profile. And then next, I have my unordered list. So I'm going to place my cursor right after that closing H1 tag, make sure I get that out, and then enter return key. And left caret UL, enter return key, left caret /. Let's close that out. And then li tag for each of our bulleted lists. And we have about 5 of these, so I'm just going to copy and paste this list item tag 4 more times. So Control C, enter return key, paste, 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 paste. So I have 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Next I need to just copy and paste my bullet points from my resume. I have my Word document of my ipsum valorum up already, so I'm just going to take my bullet points directly from this. I'm just going to copy different sentences out of here. So I'm going to copy this first one, and I'm not going to put in periods on my bullet points. Little English tip here for you, like in terms of formatting, when you use bullet points, you don't actually insert a period at the very end. It's just a styling thing. If you do end up using periods, they say that you have to be consistent all the way around. That one might be too short, so let's go back and need to grab a couple more lines here. Let's see, let's go there. Yeah, I'm just going to go through and copy and paste the rest of this in here. Okay, to speed things up here, I'm just going to start pasting the same line in here instead of doing different lines. Okay, so we know that we need to style these this part of it, so I'm going to go ahead and preview real quick and show you what we're working with here. So you notice there we have that space, and then we have the profile and our bullet points here. So we need to fix that. So we're going to toggle back over to Dreamweaver and click on Portfolio Main there. And the elements that we need to style here are going to be the H1 and our unordered list. Okay. But to do this, we're going to do, this is the reason why at the beginning I had us put in the resume content contain gray, because we want our heading 1s and our heading 2s to be the same in both of these containers. We're going to do a multiple compound selector here. So this is how this is going to work. So we're going to style the H1 first, and it's going to be the resume contain white, and then H1, but we want to do the same thing for the gray. So we're going to type in a comma after this, and resume contain, resume contain gray. Okay, let's see, make sure I spelled that correctly. Yes, if you need to highlight and copy that, just to double check, because if you misspell it, it won't work. And then H1. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to style both of these elements and both of these containers at the same time. So I'm going to open up a curly brace there, and all I'm going to do here is do font size 1.7 EM, and that's it for that. So and then right curly brace, and then we need to do the same thing for the unordered list tag and then the list element tag. So I'm going to hit the enter return key, and then period, resume contain white, UL, and then I'm going to copy and paste that same resume contain gray so I don't forget how to spell it or spell it incorrectly, and then UL, same thing. Okay, then open up a curly brace here, and what we're going to do is we're going to do margin 15 pixels on the top, 0 right, 0 bottom, and 3 EM on the left. And then close that off with a curly brace. And next, enter return key, and then we're going to do the same thing for the list element. So we're going to do resume, white, li, comma, and then period resume. I'm just going to copy and paste that again, so paste that in there, li, open up a curly brace, and here we are doing some padding. 0.15 em for the top and bottom, 0 for the left and right. Font size is going to be 1.2 em, and line height is going to be 1.5 em, and then close it off with a curly brace. Alright, let's see how this looks. I'm going to control save that and come back to Firefox here and then hit refresh, and there we go. We have a nice looking profile with some spacing going on there. And if you look at my example here, I need to go in and we have the education section here, which is going to be a gray section, so that'll be the subject of our next tutorial.